You have been thinking about imagination the wrong way. Not slightly wrong, structurally wrong. Wrong in a way that has been shaping how you practice, what you expect, and why the results have been inconsistent, without your having any way to identify it as the source of the problem, because the error is baked into the language everyone uses to describe the practice. The error is this: you think imagination is something you have. You do not have imagination. Imagination has you. It is not a faculty you pick up when you sit down to do the work and put down when the formal act is over. It is not a tool that belongs to you the way a skill belongs to you, available when you choose to use it, dormant when you do not. It is not something that switches on in the practice and switches off in the hours between. Blake identified this with a precision I have never improved upon. He put it this way: the imagination is not a state, it is the human existence itself. Not a faculty you possess, not a practice you enter, not a tool you deploy. The human existence itself, what you are, continuously, without interruption, whether you are doing a formal, imaginal act, or lying in bed, wondering why the practice is not working. If that is true, and I am telling you it is, not as a philosophical proposition, but as the most practically important fact in this entire teaching, then everything about how you think about the practice changes. Here is what changes first. If the creative power is what you are, rather than something you do, then you are always creating, right now, in this moment. Not when you close your eyes and enter the work. Now, in the background of your thinking, in the automatic inner voice that has been running all day, in the assumption that is operating in the unguarded moments when you are not performing the practice. The question has never been, am I imagining? The question has always been, what am I imagining? I know what that raises immediately. You are imagining the desired state in the practice. That is what the instruction says to do. You are doing it. So why isn't it working? The question is what the creative power is building from in the 14 hours on either side of the formal act. And most people, when they honestly examine what is running in those hours, not in the practice, but in the background of everyday life, find it is building from exactly what they are experiencing. The financial reality is imagined accurately in the inner conversation that runs beneath the day. The relationship reality is built from, with complete fidelity, in the automatic thoughts about that relationship. The gap between the desire and the current condition is constructed precisely and persistently, not in the formal work, but in the hours that surround it. 16 hours of faithful imagining of the current condition. 15 minutes of deliberate imagining of the desired one. This is not a failure of technique. It is the mechanism operating correctly on the wrong content. Blake saw this with the same precision he brought to everything. He had a name for what happens when the creative power becomes unconscious. When what you are begins operating in the contracted, measuring, evidence-bound mode, rather than the expansive, generative, assumption-inhabiting mode. He called it Newton's sleep. He painted it. Newton, hunched over a piece of paper, measuring with a compass, entirely absorbed in the calculation, his back turned on the vast living world behind him. The world behind Newton is wild and aquatic and teeming, the full dimensionality of what is available to a consciousness that is awake to it. Newton sees none of it. He is mapping what is in front of him with extraordinary precision and missing everything else. Blake was not condemning Newton. He understood that Newton had one of the most extraordinary imaginations in human history. What he was diagnosing was what happens when that faculty becomes so focused on the measurement that it forgets it is doing the measuring. When the map becomes more real than the territory. When the outer world's evidence becomes the only input the dreamer is receiving. So it builds accurately from that evidence, producing more of the same, confirming it further, making it feel more solid and more fixed with every repetition. Newton's sleep is not stupidity. It is the creative power operating at full force on the wrong object. And the person who lies in bed at night, checking whether the bank account has changed, who turns to the outer world's evidence and asks it to confirm the inner assumption, is asleep in the same way. Not failing to imagine, building from the wrong thing, creating the world that the evidence reports, rather than the world the assumption inhabits. Now, most people at this point draw a conclusion from Blake's formulation that if I do not correct precisely, produces the very thing it is trying to cure. The conclusion is, I need to monitor and manage every thought. Every unguarded moment of building from the gap is a failure. The practice requires the suppression of every automatic thought that contradicts the desired state. That is Newton's sleep applied to the practice itself. The measurement, the compass, the back turned on the living world. The correct instruction is different, and it begins with the most radical thing Blake ever said about this. The imagination is not a state, it is the human existence itself. Not a state you enter, not a state you exit, what you are. Most people relate to the creative power as something that happens to them from time to time, in the formal work, in a moment of inspiration, in a dream. Blake is saying that what you are is not happening to you. You are not the recipient of imagination. The dreamer is not someone who has dreams. The dreamer is what produces the dream. You are not someone who has imagination. You are the dreamer, expressing in a particular form, and the outer world you are currently looking at is not what the faculty failed to change. It is what it has been precisely, continuously, and accurately building from, including in the 14 hours you were not thinking about the practice. I know the question that arrives. Then why can't I simply choose what to dream? If the creative power is what I am, why does the outer world persist in showing me something I have not consciously chosen? Because you have been choosing, continuously, in the unguarded moments, the automatic inner conversation, the habitual identity, the background assumption of the ordinary day. The outer world is not failing to respond to your choice. It is responding to all of it, including the choosing you were not aware you were doing. Here is what shifts when this lands correctly. When you understand that you are the dreamer, that the creative power is not a tool you pick up, but the nature of what you are, the practice stops being something you do and becomes something you recognize. You are not trying to activate a faculty. You are recognizing what is already continuously operating and choosing deliberately what to give it. Not managing every thought. Recognizing what is currently being built from and choosing a different building material. The building material is the assumption, the identity you are standing in when you are not thinking about the practice, the automatic inner conversation that runs in the background of the day, the position from which thinking arises in the moments between the formal work. The work plants the seed. The unguarded moment is the soil. Not the session, the soil. Blake's understanding that the creative power is the human existence itself, not a state you enter for 15 minutes, makes the soil the primary jurisdiction. What you are building from right now, in this background moment, in the assumption of whoever you are being while you listen to this, is what is being created right now. Not yesterday's formal act, not tomorrow's. This moment, this assumption, this identity. Blake did not teach this as consolation. He was precise about the stakes. The dreamer that is asleep. Newton measuring the outer world with his compass and calling it reality is not doing nothing. It is creating constantly, precisely, with complete fidelity. It is building the world the compass confirms, and that world becomes more solid, more detailed, more fixed with every measurement, because what you are is pouring itself into the confirmation. The person who checks the bank account for proof is not failing to imagine. They are creating perfectly. They are building the world the bank account describes, with the full authority of what they are, and the subconscious receives that as the settled instruction it is. This is why the outer world does not change under checking, not because checking is spiritually prohibited, because checking is creating, and what checking creates is the current condition as the primary settled reality. Wake up, not from biological sleep, from Newton's sleep, from the contraction that has turned the measurement into the reality, the shadow into the substance, the record of the past creative power into the fixed and inevitable future. Not by doing something extraordinary, by recognizing what is already true. You are the dreamer. The faculty is not something you have, it is what you are. The only question that has ever mattered, is what you are currently giving it to express. Give it the assumption, the inhabited, present tense, unargued identity of the one for whom the desired thing is simply, quietly, already the ground they are standing on. The imagination will do the rest. It always has.